welcome to Koma. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got one fetch land with Brainstorm, and we're on the draw. And Masswood Nexus is vitally crucial to this deck. So yeah, I think we keep on this one. We've got we got some stuff we can do. Yeah, let's keep on this one. Hopefully the Magic Gods treat us well, and we rip into a few lands. But yes, welcome to Koma. Cosmos Serpent. Hope you're excited. And we've got I don't know how this is going to play out, but we've got two good options in the hand. We've got Whelming Wave and we have Masswood Nexus, which are pretty much what we're trying to set up, or at least draw into for the game. And so that's always a good thing to see in our opening hand. So see what we draw into, looking for a land. Hey, we'll take that. It's Reliquary Tower. Let's go and lead off with, actually we need a blue source. Pretty bad. So let's do this. Let's go Windswept Heath. We've got the land drop for next turn. Let's see if we can hit one more land, one more color source for Brainstorm. And then if not, we'll just drop Reliquary Tower and kind of see what we draw into. But anything else, let's go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Koma, the Serpent Lord. This spell can't be countered. At the beginning of each upkeep, let's see, there we go. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Koma's Coil. Let's let them get this started. We might want to brainstorm in response to something, so that's why we're kind of very slowly clicking through the turn. Basically, we're going to get a 3/3 blue serpent, sacrifice another serpent, choose one, tap target permanents, activated abilities can't be activated this turn, or Koma gains indestructible until end of turn. Our opponent's going to go for Azorius Signet. So yeah, let's keep on this brainstorm game plan. If we can set up a brainstorm with a color source and then shuffle some stuff away, I kind of like this. So all right, so we draw into Serpent. Yeah, let's go ahead and crack it. Let's go ahead and crack Windswept Heath. We need to dig a little bit deeper. These are all great stuff to have late game, but not super early game. So let's go and grab ourselves a Tropical Island. Let's go for Brainstorm. And, ooh, bummer. All right, well, we did hit Impulse. So let's go ahead and put Serpent back on top. And then at this point, we'll probably put Gargle Water back on top too. Let's make the land drop with Reliquary Tower, and then anything else pass the turn over to our opponent. So we have nothing else to do, so we can yield to the turn. Playing against Vega, the Watcher, which I'm excited to see this play out. I almost built Vega this weekend, but we'll see it sometime soon. Flying, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, draw a card. Pretty simple right there. I like that. We did cover both commanders. So give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you go to bit.ly/JoltMTG, that's going to apply my affiliate link. So the next time you're in the market for some paper cards, hey, please consider using that link. If you do, it costs you nothing and it helps support the channel at the same time. Much obliged. Let's see what we draw into. Yeah, we knew Elder was on top. Let's go Impulse. And we're just looking for a land at this point right now. We are running 38 lands in here. Command Tower, we'll take it. There we go. Put those on the bottom in any order. Let's lead off with Command Tower. And what we'll probably end up doing is Mystical Tutoring for Cultivate. And we should probably do that right now. Because we go Mystical Tutor. We grab Cultivate. That's going to be potentially Frantic Search into Cultivate next turn. Yeah, I kind of like that. And plus, we get a good shuffle effect. So let's go Mystical Tutor while our opponent is shields down. Let's get this popped out. Let's just go and grab Cultivate. Or do we want to grab Kodama's Reach? Let's go Cultivate. Let's get the hand touching our mana base. Anything else, pass the turn over to our opponent. So I guess technically we could... oh, no. That was just our in step with... Mystical Tutor. So anything else, pass it back over there. Also, to give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. You can play the brand new card set online. They have all the cards available to you. Let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com/Jolt. That's going to get you 10% off of your gaming accessories. If you're from Texas and you're looking for some propane accessories, they don't have them, but maybe one day. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home, it is officially free time, so let's have some fun. All right, so we've got Tygam swinging across for 3. That's going to drop us down to 26. And then we've got, yeah, I think what we'll probably end up doing is going for Frantic Search next turn, because either way, we're still going to be able to untap these lands, and then that'll still allow us to go for Cultivate. And that allows us to keep up with the huge chunk of mana that our opponents assembled on their side of the battlefield. So let's see if we can't bust this open just a little bit. Let's go for Frantic Search. We're going to draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Looking for a land drop. All right, so we don't hit that. Since we do have Masswood Nexus available, I guess what we end up doing is, I think we can actually drop Masswood Nexus since we did hit Arcane Adaptation. Let's drop Masswood Nexus, and let's drop Elder. Okay, so let's untap our 3 lands. Let's go for Cultivate, and that's still going to be the land drop for the turn, which is very important for us. So let's get the land on the battlefield. Let's split this one down the middle, and let's go ahead and grab... Let's grab Island, and then let's grab Forest. Let's go ahead and put Island on the battlefield. Let's put Forest onto the battlefield, and then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So, but yes, it's officially free time. What are we doing with Koma? I wanted to build Koma, and I started looking at what Serpents were available. If we want, you know, our commander has an activated ability of sacrificing a Serpent and getting some sort of use from it. And so as I kept looking at Serpents, I was like, man, that's a lot of high converted mana cost stuff that we're trying to do. So as I started building the deck, I just really wanted to build almost like a Simic token deck. You can see we've got Turn Timber Sower in the hand. We've got Hull Breacher. We've got Parallel Lives. We've got Doubling Season. So pretty much anything that's going to make an extra copy of a token is exactly what we're trying to go for with this deck. And then we're going to use something like Arcane Adaptation to use that to turn all of our creatures into Serpents. So let's say that we do get down something like Talrand or something. We get those Drake tokens going with Adaptation on the battlefield. That's going to give us the option to turn those into Serpents, and then we can use that with Koma to either tap down our opponent's board state or give it indestructible, whatever that may be. It gives us some sort of game plan to reliably use Koma's activated ability once Koma does come down. We do have a couple other different stuff in here that works out really well with this kind of like universal tribal effect. We've got Whelming Wave. If you've never... Let's see... All right, so we got some humans out there. We do have Whelming Wave that we can definitely hit the reset button on this. So we'll probably let that go through. That's going to be 5. That's going to be 10. Drop us down to 11. And then they can still hit the reset button, but I think we might end up having to go for Whelming Wave next turn. That might be exactly what we need to do. All right, so we do not run into a land drop for the turn. Yeah, let's go Whelming Wave. Yeah, we need to hit the reset button. We are not hitting the land drops, and it's going to be very important for us to do this. So let's go Whelming Wave. It's going to send everything back to their hand, unless they have 1 mana. There we go. All right, hit the reset button, and then anything else past the turn. But yeah, something like Whelming Wave. You know, once we have Adaptation on the battlefield with something like Whelming Wave, this is going to be a 4 mana Cyclonic Rift, basically, which really does help us out. We did see the... Oh, what is it? It is a Serpent of Yawning. It's on my deck sheet, but I can't remember the rest of it. But that's going to give all of our Serpents basically unblockable, I'm pretty sure. Let me get that pulled up real quick. Yeah, Serpent of Yawning Depths. And so basically, Krakens, Leviathan, Octopuses, and Serpents you control can't be blocked except by the exact same thing. So if we have this on the battlefield, it's going to make it to where we're going to be able to swing in and... you know, have an unblockable force. You know, it's going to turn our entire crew. Even if it's something like Turn Timber Sower or Hull Breacher out there, it's just going to make everybody unblockable, which is definitely something that we want to see. All right, so hopefully we hit the land drop at the very least. If we don't, we're going to be able to deploy out Hull Breacher potentially or Turn Timber Sower. At this point, we just need to get some plants on the battlefield or get tokens on the battlefield. So that's what we're kind of looking for. Deranged Hermit. All right, yeah, we'll take that. Opponent didn't, well, they might have counter magic. I think at this point, because what we can do is we can go for delay. We can go for Nissa, or if we just really want to stop any of these humans out here, let's try this. Let's go for a little bit of a setup play. I kind of like this. So we go for Turn Timber. That way, if we do run into some sort of fetch land or anything like that, we can start to get some of these plant tokens on the battlefield. And then that does keep us open on leaving delay up. So that way, if they do have a counter magic, they only got 4 cards left in the hand. At least we have some sort of answer to their counter magic. So anything else past the turn over there. But yeah, so we have that heavy universal tribal theme in here. We have Arcane Adaptation. We have Masswood Nexus. We have Xenograph in here too, which is going to turn all of our creatures into that. We do have Kindred Discovery. And so really, this is a huge mana deck. We've got a lot of lands in here, even though you're not seeing them. We have a lot of ramp spells in here, even though we're not seeing them. We had to tutor for them. So hopefully the magic gods will help us out just a little bit. But yeah, you know, there's no better feeling than, you know, if we can get the universal aspect down on the battlefield, get Koma down, start tapping a lot of their stuff. You know, this is definitely one of those the concept of the deck seemed like it would work in my head, so I'm excited to see how it's going to play out. But we're just not getting out to that explosive start right now. But that explosiveness is in the deck because that really does help us out. So let's see what our opponent's going to go for. That's going to be another increasing devotion with Mystic Sanctuary. Goodness. All right, it's going to go on top of their library. At least we don't have that extra Tie-Gam effect, at least at this point right now. So let's see how they decide to swing in. And then even next turn, if we don't still hit the land drop, we can get our own kind of token army on the battlefield, you know. In the lane of 1/1 humans, some 1/1 squirrels can go toe-to-toe, so we'll take that. All right, so we do have Tie-Gam back on the battlefield. Probably going to see a swing in from Vega. It's going to drop us down to 19, and we'll see if they decide to swing in all the human tokens. At least we're going to be able to chump block on a couple of these different human tokens if they do decide to swing in. Okay, so we got Vega swinging in. That's going to be 2 coming across. It's going to drop us down to 19. And then we run into Tindershoot Dryad. Okay, well that does give us a pretty good option. So let's go for this. Let's still leave up Hull Breacher, and let's leave up Delay. I kind of like that because we're going to go for the delay option. I think what we can do, it gains rebound. So we can still hit the delay option on that devotion. And I think that might give us something to do. So let's do this. So let's just pass the turn, see what they go for. We might be able to flash in Hull Breacher if they get any extra card draw. That's going to give us some extra treasure tokens. And then once we do hit that delay, it's still going to work out with Tie-Gam. So, okay, so they're going to go to the combat step. Yeah, we're going to let them get this through, you know, go for the Tie-Gam option. We're still sitting okay on life total. You know, we are sitting at 19, you know, 5 per turn. We're looking at about a 3-turn clock before things get pretty nasty. So swinging it for 5. Yeah, we're not going to block on that one. Now, if they do end up going for that increasing devotion, that will be delay and that will be Hull Breacher. So that will, and we might end up just flashing in Hull Breacher just to get a creature on the battlefield. Opponent's going to go for Stolen Goods until a non-land card. I mean, we've got some good stuff in here. I think that might warrant a delay. Yeah, let's go for that. That way we just get some sort of movement on our side of the battlefield. So if we end up going delay on Stolen Goods before this Tie-Gam trigger resolves... Oh, and excuse me, it can't be countered. Uh-oh. Let's see. Yeah, the total goof on my part. All right, so they're going to be able to get the Stolen Goods option. And that's going to be Mystic, Stolen Goods. Went into the reveal zone. And then they end up hitting Mystic Reflection off the top. So let's flash in Hull Breacher. I love the art on Hull Breacher because that is totally us ready to get some treasure tokens. Yeah, that was with that delay with Tie-Gam. Yeah, that's totally a misplay on my part. Opponent's going to go for Pongify. All right, so we've got the gates are wide open right now. So it's going to be Pongify. We still get a 3/3 ape token. They're still going to get that card draw. And we'll see if they have any of the other payoffs for the back end. All right, so we do run into 4. So let's get the land drop down for the turn. Yeah, I think at this point, we still need to get as many creatures on the battlefield as possible. So let's go for Deranged Hermit. Because what this might set up is it might set up a pretty good Tindershoot Dryad for us for next turn. Even if we don't pay that echo cost, we can go Tindershoot Dryad. And that'll give us the ability to at least have that City's Blessing as soon as it comes down. So let's get these squirrel tokens on the battlefield. Oh, look at that. And then anything else. Yeah, I don't really want to swing into a bunch of, 1/1 humans. And we're definitely going to be able to stop Tie-Gam too. So yeah, we're just not in a position to really try to start swinging in until we have some sort of, token board state, something kind of built up towards that. So anything else past the turn. Yeah, I know this is a little bit of a rough showing of Koma, but you can definitely see where if we were able to hit, normal land ramp, and especially at an increased amount that we've got in here, that would work out. So let's see the Stolen Goods, see if they rip off the top. And that's going to be Nature's Lore. All right, so they did hit one of our ramp spells. I told you, we do have them in here. It's going to be Nature's Lore. And we're seeing a beautiful showing by our opponent. This is one of those things where when I record these games, I'm always looking for a good showing, and especially if it's a new commander. So we're actually getting a pretty good showing of Vega. So probably, even though we're not getting off to a crazy start with Koma, you'll probably end up seeing this video somewhere down the line. So that's going to be Pongify on the turn Temp Sower. Just kind of a little bit of a trade on that. It's 3/3. We lose the plant ability. But at least we've got this hodgepodge of forest creatures. You know, if you think of a sea monster, you always think of you think of squirrels and apes tagging along with the sea monster. So anyway, it's a pretty fun little board state. Now, if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if we do hit the land drop next turn, that does put us into Koma range. That will allow us to. And the good thing about Koma, especially against a deck like this, is that Koma can't be countered. So if we get Koma on the battlefield, and we can probably need to set up Arcane Adaptation. And once we get that down, we can use Nissa to kind of get some of these plant tokens out. And then we might be able to stabilize, because if you've got a 2/2 flyer that's coming across, I feel like we can get some good stuff going. But yeah, man, look at that. That was our Hull Breacher got blown up, turned timber. This is a fun little. It's always nice to have some good back and forths. As far as the rest of the deck with the token abilities, we do have Jace Cunning Castaway, which does go. I can't remember how it goes infinite, but it does go infinite with Doubling Season, being able to make a bunch of copies of Jace. And I love being able to go infinite with Jace Castaway because he looks so confused in that art, or like he's just having a midlife crisis. And so just having a bunch of midlife crisis Jaces on the battlefield, that's a good feeling. And so, but yeah, if you didn't know that with Doubling Season, whenever you cast a Planeswalker, so like with Nissa's going to enter the battlefield with 6 loyalty counters with Doubling Season on the battlefield. So that really does help us out as far as having some sort of, you know, even if it's late game, we have Doubling Season down, we draw into Nissa late, you know, just being able to go for that +1 and have it already go for that ultimate, it's a pretty good feeling. All right, so we got the Vega swinging in. It's going to drop us down to 12. We've got 6 more turns of Vega before it becomes an issue. So let's see what else. They've only got 3 cards in the hand with 4 mana available. So we're going to skip out on this Echo cost. Sorry, Deranged Hermit. Click no on that. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. We're drawn to Remand. Now, if we're going for the setup, they've got more than enough mana for Remand. So we can actually go Nissa. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's go for Arcane Adaptation. Let's see if this is going to get a counterspell out of their hand. Let's get this down first. Now, if they've got a 3 mana counterspell, we're sitting okay with 3 mana. If they've got a 2 mana, it's going to be a little iffy. We might not end up going for that. We still might end up going for Remand just to get the card draw going. But at least going Arcane Adaptation and then going for Nissa, that will set us up potentially for a Koma line of play, which we're trying to set up. All right, there we go. That is a 3 mana spell. All right, so let's go Remand. This is going to be very important for us. One thing that we do have to watch out for, at least keep that in mind once it does go back to the hand, but we will definitely take this card draw. So let's go Remand, send that back to the hand. Ooh, draw into Mana Drain. That could really bust us wide open. Oh, I just did that again. I just did the counter magic again. Anyway. We got the Mana Drain available. I will remember that tie game out there will make it to where their instant sorcery spells can't be countered, but at least we can keep that in mind. Now, that Remand does work like that with a spell that can't be countered. So if it can't be countered, you still get that card draw. So, and the same thing with Mana Drain. You know, if we do try to counter something with Mana Drain, all that it cares about if a spell is uncounterable is that you can still counter it. You know, their spells are uncounterable. We go for Mana Drain. We're still going to be able to get that that extra mana to our mana pool, because as far as Mana Drain is concerned, or as far as Remand is concerned, we're still going to be able to. The spell was countered, even though it technically didn't go away. It's like destroying a creature that's indestructible. It's still destroyed. The creature still sticks around, but that part of the clause was satisfied. So, all right, our opponent does go for Hypnotic Sprite on the battlefield. That is simply just a 2/1 flyer. But yeah, Tygam is. Man, that's putting in some work. All right, and our opponent did exile higher. Oh, and our opponent does have a card in Foretold. We totally missed that, so we got to keep that in mind. And that's going to be Increasing Devotion. Okay, can't be countered. There's going to be a bunch of extra creatures on the battlefield. So we've got the City's Blessing if we end up going for Tindershoot Dryad. And if we hit the land drop, that's cut us off Arcane Adaptation. Yeah, let's see what we can assemble. Okay, so we got Vega swinging across. It's going to be 10 total commander damage and put us all the way down to 10. We'll see what we pop into next turn. Oh, then we run into Polluted Delta. We finally hit a land. Okay. So at this point, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to be 7 with Polluted Delta. So we've got Koma, but we do not have the ability just yet. Do we want to Tindershoot? That'll be an extra sapling token. Yeah, I think we need to do this. So we could go for Koma. Can't be countered. That's going to allow us to tap down a couple creatures. I think we can take one more hit. Now, if we end up going Nissa and we go for the -2, that's going to give us a pretty good way to kind of stop everything without having to make trades. Because we're going to end up having 6 creatures on the battlefield. They got 10. Yeah, they still got a pretty good chunk over there. Let's go for this. Let's go for Tindershoot Dryad. I kind of like this a little bit better. All right, so let's go for Tindershoot Dryad. Let's get that on the battlefield. They've got counter magic. They've got it. But at least we're going to be able to get an extra sapling token on the battlefield, and we will get that tribal bonus once we have the city, or once we get the city's blessing token on the battlefield. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to still get one at the beginning of their upkeep. Anything else, pass it back over. Now, we can go for Koma next turn. We do have the mana available. We're going to be able to stop a pretty good chunk of what they've got going on. We're going to have to make some trades, but at least we're not going to be in a terrible position next turn. So, all right, so we got the Tindershoot Dryad trigger. Now, if we can catch something with Mana Drain, the spell won't be countered because of Tygam, but at least we're still going to get that mana. So that's going to be Suspend coming off High Arcanist. And that's going to be two cards in the hand for our opponent. So we'll see what they have. Okay, so they're going to go to the combat step. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do have 8 creatures. And we can't stop 2 in the air. All right, so they're going to send in the entire crew. So we're going to block across the entire board on this. Okay, so that's going to be 6 coming across. Yeah, so this will be 2 on the ground, 4 in the air, and that'll be 6. Yeah, we can survive that. Click OK. We're still going to be able to retain our 8 tokens that were given to us by our opponent. Drops us down to 4. Now we also need to get something going for next turn. We do have the Koma ability of getting a Serpent. If we end up tapping out for that, they can tap down 1 creature, and that might help us survive until next turn. Because we crack, go down to 3, that's 2 in the air, puts us down to 1. So we'll see what else is going to happen. At least we do have that crack, and we can stop the ground attack. But yeah, that would pretty much just force us into going for the Koma line of play. All right, that's going to be Doomscar, destroy all creatures. Do we want to cash in a Mana Drain on this? That's going to be 5 mana. It's hard to pass up 5 mana, so let's go for this. So let's go Polluted Delta. This is not going to stop the spell, but I'm going to remember finally, this is not going to stop the spell. But yeah, I like this. So let's grab ourselves a Snow-Covered Island, and let's go Mana Drain on Doomscar, and that'll give us that. And that was the actual foretold card. So we're going to get that 5 mana. They're still going to blow up the board state, but at this point, this is really what we want to see. So it's going to be Vega. We're going to get that 5 mana coming down next turn. That's going to help us power out Koma and still, not be so hard on our mana base, or maybe we can still get down Nissa, a Voice of Zendikar, or if we draw into something else next turn that we need to get down to kind of help rebuild our board state. So they did go for the board wipe. Now that does leave Vega coming back onto the battlefield. That's going to be 2 in the air. If they have another flying threat, this will be something, but at least we do have the Koma option of getting these Serpents down, and we might be able to keep them tapped down. Now when this comes off of Suspend, yeah, we can survive off of that. But yeah, with the Tygam line of play, I know I missed a couple counter spells with that. There's just some times where a little clause like can't be countered, you skim over it, but then your brain just doesn't process it, and you're like, goodness, we needed that. All right, so we're going to add that 5 mana to our mana pool with Mana Drain. Let's drop in Alchemist's Refuge, but even though through the mistake, we still got the card drawn with Remand, so hey, we'll take that. So let's go for a Koma. Let's make the land drop. Let's go Koma. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Colorless first. And then double blue, double green. Can't be countered. That's still going to give us a Serpent token. And yeah, I guess we just still go for Nissa. That's going to be double green. Oh, we should have clicked on that last 2. I mean, technically it doesn't matter. Let's go for the +1. Yeah, we just want to, if we can somehow get a Nissa ultimate, crazier things have happened. All right, so click OK. And once we get to if we've got Path to Exile, that's going to be a major bummer. But if we can get to their upkeep and get that Serpent token and tap down Vega, that's going to be our big payoff spell. All right. So let's get this Serpent token on the battlefield. And we're immediately going to go for this. So let's go for the Koma activation. We're going to tap down Vega and then sacrifice Serpent. There we go. All right, so we're going to tap down Vega. And that at least kind of cuts them off any sort of flying threat in the air this turn. They got 3 cards in the hand, they have a ton of mana, they can pretty much do whatever they want. But as long as we can keep getting these Serpent tokens, we'll be in a good spot. If we can find another, so we have Arcane in the graveyard, we have Maskwood Nexus in the graveyard. So if we do draw into Xenograft, that will allow us to start sacrificing some of these plant tokens. But the game plan we're on right now, that's going to be working towards the Nissa Ultimate, which hopefully might happen, I don't know. It kind of depends on who's going to hit some card draw first. That's pretty much what we're looking at. All right, so that's going to be Increasing Devotion. And that's going to be, they paid the iron price for that Increasing Devotion. That was 7 mana. That's going to be 10 tokens on the battlefield. So now we're almost looking at, a wipe back to the hand. Otherwise, we cannot do anything about this. So we'll see what we draw into for the turn. But either way, still been a pretty good game so far. You know, one of the downsides is we just didn't hit our early mana. You can see what this deck is trying to do, and that is get these Serpents on the battlefield, start sacrificing some of these other ones. But if we had some of our Spell Slingers out there, you can see where if we have that, you know, copy effect on the battlefield or that everybody's Changeling effect, we might be able to tap down something like that. So see what we draw into. We're definitely in top deck mode. So if you're keeping score at home, now would definitely be the time to pray to the magic gods. And we draw into Soul Ring. A little late, Soul Ring. Okay, so we go for the +1. Put a +1 counter on each creature that we control. I guess we just create a plant token, but yeah, I don't think there's any way that we can get around this. So we have Koma. We're going to get an extra token. Even if we tap and sacrifice, I just don't think that there's anything we can do. Let's just see what our opponent does. We've got 1 card left in the hand. They don't know what it is. Maybe they play this out semi-differently. So let's just pass the turn, but it looks like our opponent's going to get in on this one. So, okay, and that's going to be a suspend counter off Ancestral Vision, and they're going to get, I think, 1 more suspend counter off of High Arcanist. All right, so we're going to get that Serpent token. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're still going to be able to get it across on this one. So the only thing is, if they're, for some reason, worried about swinging in with the entire crew, maybe they don't swing in. Who knows? Anyway, it's better than just right-click conceding. So we're going to let them play this out, see if they want to try to swing into this, if even get any sort of movement on their side. But if they do right-click attack on, then they've definitely got it on this one. Okay, yeah, they're going to right-click swing off. We're going to let that go through. Yeah, there's nothing that we can do to stop that. So anything else, yeah, we'll just let them click on through on that. So there we go. Good game to our opponent. That was a long game. A lot of good back and forth. You know, this was definitely a good showing by Vega. It was a good showing by our deck in the late game. You can see where we did have the pieces necessary to kind of set up this Koma sacrifice board state where we can start tapping down stuff during their upkeep. We can start tapping down some of their lands. One of the cool concepts that I'm trying to go for with this deck is once we have Koma down, start sacrificing all this stuff and tapping down, you know, either the lands during their upkeep, tapping down Gilded Lotus, and then just start swinging in with a 6/6. I mean, that puts them on a 4-turn clock with commander damage. And so that's what we're trying to do with Koma. Unfortunately, we did hit a little bit of mana ramp issues in the beginning, and we weren't hitting our land drops, but we did see a lot of the stuff that we're trying to do with this deck. So unfortunately, we just couldn't get it to work, but we will definitely be recording another game with this deck somewhere in the near future. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.